nibbling on sponge cake, watching the sun bake. All of those tourists are covered in oil, strumming my six string on my front porch swing. I smell those shrimp, they're beginning to boil. So, the reason why I brought that song up is because it's, summertime and the living's easy. Bradley's on the microphone with Ross MC. Music. Summertime, outside, outdoors. You hear music everywhere. Or you should. If you're not hearing music outdoors, you're in the wrong fucking place, bro. You're in the wrong fucking place because those people are hiding some shit. If you're not playing some kind of music to let people know how you feel, you're fucked up. You need to listen to some fucking music, bro. So that's a problem. That's a problem. It's a problem. We've been listening to music forever. We've been singing songs while we work. We whistle. I whistle now. I freak the fuck out of people. I go into your department store, your Walmart, or your Target, or whatever, Sam's. Those are the places I go, near me. I walk in there and I whistle. Most of the time I whistle. Because I love music. I love music. It's been in my life forever. My grandpa on the paternal side. My maternal family was, farmers and, upright, good people, But the other side, my paternal side, they're all good people, but they came from a family of music. My grandfather, he spent most of his life, up until he was 27 years old. I think he got married by that time. He spent his early years being a spoiled little fucking brat, number one. And number two is riding up and down Mississippi River, playing his guitar. Playing with those, those bands back in the, the Depression days. That's what they did. They drank whiskey and rode up and down the river and played music all night for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And once they get to doing that, they didn't want to stop it. Eventually they had to. They'd go make families and stuff, You get tied up. You get interwoven. You get involved with things. And you have to go do it. But, a lot of people that are musicians, you have a hard time adjusting to things. Whenever for years, even now, it's harder for me now because I've gotten so old and rigid. I'm not like I was. But I wrote millions and at least I'm saying probably 300,000. Listen, not millions. I'm exaggerating, but probably 300,000 pages. Not all of them had one word on it. 1 word, 10 words, 30 words. They're poems. They're songs. And I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent with a guitar, just sitting there. It was harder a long time ago. When I was a child growing up, you had to get a book. And of course, you could do chords back then. So a lot of them, they would have, music and chords, theory and chords and notations, proper notations. I can read chords. So if you say A, B, A, B, A, B, B minor, G, A, D, G, sus, whatever you need, whatever you tell me, I can understand that. But I can't really, quote unquote, read music. Some of it I can. I had some piano lessons for a while, and they very much a stickler for that. Because you got to know all those keys, those black keys, those white keys. But anyway, so I've been playing the guitar for a long time. And I love it. I love music. Music is what has saved me from being in trouble. I have no felonies or misdemeanors on me. Probably because of the fact that I play the guitar, And somehow I got sober young. I was sitting in my room, and I had a computer, I had a bed, I had a guitar, I had a bookshelf with. Back then we didn't really The internet wasn't there. I had a computer. I could word process. I could type stuff. I could type up my poems. I could type up my homework. I'd go to class. I would take notes, comprehensive notes, because I'm ADHD, or maybe I'm some other kind of something. I'm some kind of something somewhere. But anyway, so I'd come home and I would type them. And then from the type, I would create note cards. So I would have it all narrowed down. I know all of them. I know the notes. I'd read the ones that I wrote down. I'd read the ones that I typed, and I'd read the note cards. Did very well in college. I did make 2 B's my first semester. After that, it was straight A's. Graduate school was the same thing. But at all those times, I always had a guitar with me. Always a guitar there with me. Sometimes a little children's guitar, like little, 2 foot long, whatever guitar. No. I learned how to tune guitar. I learned all kinds of things on those little bitty guitars. I carried one around with me everywhere I went in my car. I'm driving down the road. I'd be stuck in traffic. I'd be in Austin, Texas. I'd be in Ruston, Louisiana. I'd be in Atlanta, Georgia. Where the fuck I was at, I had my little guitar with me. Dun 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 dun. And then I had to put it to the side. Oh shit, what's that? Oh shit. But I always pull it back. I sitting on a porch swing, strumming in my 6-string. Can't tell you how many hours I've done that. But I've done all kinds of things while I was doing it. I was writing poetry. I was talking on the telephone. I didn't play while I was talking on the telephone, but a lot of times I'd be playing it in my hands. But I'm not a lead guitarist. I can do some leads. I can run some scales, play some blues, a little bit here and there. But I'm not the best. If you want somebody else to do all that, you got to get somebody else. Now, I can write it and lead you in that direction and kind of have an idea of what I want done. But I'm not dexterous enough to do that. These days, at my age, in my 50s, I can't even hardly make a power chord for very long. I can rock out for about 2 minutes. And then I'm going to throw some open chords in there, bro. Everybody else is going to be playing those power chords, and, I'm going to be playing some open chords with them. It's kind of very touching it. I'm going to play the same shit they are. I'm going to play along with them, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to be leading it, not anymore. It's hard to fucking believe it, But, a few days ago, I was playing that. I was at 14 years old. I was sitting in my room, and I had my first guitar, I think, with an amplifier was from Sears. It was red and black, 6-string, you had a... I was like, first off, I was like, well, this thing doesn't sound like Eddie Van Halen's, not even the fact that I couldn't play it. It's just that it doesn't sound like that. And I had this other dude that came over, and he's like, yeah, you got to get you some pedals and stuff, man. Oh, you got to, make that sound. Okay. Mucho bueno, I know 2 chords. What the fuck else you need to know? If you know a power chord, you know every fucking chord almost. Everything a power chord can make, and there's a bunch of them. You run up and down there on, 3 sets of the top 3 strings, E, A, B, bro. You can... And what all the variations you can make with all the notes and chords in there, man, you're good. Throw in a D and slide down that G string. Everybody, that G string, it's about the G string. The most popular G string ever is on the guitar. Every new guitarist learns that G string, Shit, man. Look at Kurt Cobain. He played that, we passed upon the stairs. Spoke or wasn't when, although I wasn't there, or whatever. I said I was his friend. Words came as so surprise. I spoke into his eyes. I must have died alone. Anyway, you follow that song one out. The lead of that song. And even the basic part of the song is a G. It's a G string. Just playing notes all up and down it, People love that string. That's the first place they go. And then you got to learn some scales and all that kind of stuff. And you start implementing that into it, you get way beyond what Nirvana sounded like. I've implemented in 2 songs where you run down, as a way to change key or something. I want to stay in key. But anyway, so playing a guitar is a way to relax for me. And sometimes when I can't do it, when I can't be in a quiet place to play my guitar, I go nuts. I notice it. It's part of my mental health. May mental health month. But here's why I came here tonight. If you've lasted this long, then you understand this right here. Today, let's make sure I'm correct on this. I believe that today is May the 18th. But somewhere around May 17th or May 18th of 2017, which is a very fucking momentous year, man. That thing was huge. But on May 17, 18, right after a show in Detroit, Chris Cornell went into his hotel room. His wife was not there. His children were not there. He had relapsed in some kind of a way, and he wound up committing suicide. The most beautiful musician ever. The guy that had, 4 or 5 octave range. This guy was just huge. I remember the first song I ever heard with those guys. First I heard Alice in Chains first, and then I heard Soundgarden, and then I heard Nirvana. But when I first heard that Outshined, got a feeling so down. But the story's getting old now. Oh yeah. I just looked in the mirror, and things aren't looking so good. I'm looking California and feeling Minnesota. Oh yeah. I love it. So Minnesota, I think that's where Scott Weiland died. Another Gen Xer, Scott Weiland. Another, we have nobody left from the Generation X playing music now. Nobody can play those songs. I mean, STP has, what's his name, Gut? I can't think of his fucking name. He does okay, but it's not the real fucking thing, it's kind of like going to a Leonard Skinner concert, or whatever. I've never been to a Leonard Skinner concert. I wouldn't go to one. Play Leonard Skinner! Sweet Home Alabama! Now, we've done it for people in bands over the years, But Jesus. To beat that level, though. To what Scott Weiland and Chris Cornell, who died, what was it, 2017? So 7 years ago? 5, 6 years ago? 6 years ago. Can you fucking believe that? What is going on? I grew up with that. And Chris grew up playing guitars too. He's like, he just like, was a poet and had to figure out a way to play music. He says, I'm not a guitar player, but damn. Man, he wrote his own songs, When you hear Soundgarden, you're hearing this very individual way that Cornell played, and then Kim would come back and just accent it. He would bring what Cornell's deep, heavy, dark shit to life, And, the STP boys, the brothers and drummer, they did the same thing for Weiland, and other people have done other things for other people over the years, and getting that involved in it it can be catastrophic for people in my age group, man. It's best to stay out of it. I mean, I wasn't obviously never that good, but I mean, like after a little while playing live shows, just very few, and having the right music, and I loved it. The daily life of a musician is fucking great, especially if you're a musician and a student, where you're doing things and you're learning and you get all these different fucking ideas coming at you all the time. But then, you get out there and that's what you're doing for a few days. And you go, fuck this. This is no way to live. You have to give up your soul. You have to sell your soul for that shit. People say, well, I sold my soul. I had a couple guys over there. They playing around a campfire. I sold my soul. I'm like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. You ain't sold nothing. You just bought some Jack Daniels. But, yeah, you haven't sold your soul. You get out there on the road like those guys did, you sold your soul. For music. You know? To me, it's not like that. To me, music is a way to unwind. It's something to do when you're stressed. It's not what I want to do every fucking day. Not for somebody else. That's for damn sure.